or something.
This is Tuesday, March 14th, Pi Day.
Oh,
And
that's true.
we are well met. You're catching us mid-conversation, but it's okay. You're in the perfect place, perfect timing.
Cliff's notes. We are circling the idea and the experience of abandonment by specifically Cedar Races, galactic beings that came here, different groups to the planet, to take part in the creation and evolution of humankind for various purposes. And those moments when the galactics left, and the various ways that was experienced by the groups that were remaining here. Some of whom were intended to stay here and had various feels about that. And some of whom were left behind because of the way things shook out. Is that a fair?
And maybe there's an opportunity here to work within the morphin, the grid of the morphin, and that word, genic field, and address the cobwebs around the thinking about being here at this point in time. You know, sort of dust them off to create a remembrance of the idea of mission for those who currently don't have it. And for those who are on mission, perhaps to reinfuse it with a conviction, right? A commitment. And an understanding of how valuable each and every one of our lights is to this unfolding process.
Well, it looks like Jules resonated with that because she instantly morphed into her authentic self. So to connect those two ideas, yeah, so there were those whose mission it was to stay behind.
Right.
Whether or not they loved their assignment. There are those who were made to stay here, but were left behind. And that could be hugely traumatic. And I could see the threads of resistance to one's mission in later incarnations and connections to feelings of and fear of abandonment, which can show up in behaviors and thought processes and emotional responses in a really wide variety of ways, creating insecurity in folks in ways that we wouldn't necessarily directly connect to fear of abandonment.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because our gods through time, right, have changed. And if you think about how the big industrialists became sort of the modern day gods, right? Controlling everything. And I remember Bette Midler sang the song, Mr. Rockefeller, right? Like these are our new gods are the money gods, right? And even that's falling apart. All of these father figures, right? And mother figures, we find out don't really have our best interest at heart. And it's heartbreaking. It wounds that inner child. I'm going deep now.
Well, I all I'm hearing and all you both are saying is victim consciousness. Like that's how it shows up. Is this happened to me? Happened to me.
And I can't.
But I think modern humanity is in the process of reshaping their notion of what God is. And so many people are choosing not even to use the word, but replace it with something, right? And I think that's there's a through line on that, just adding it for texture.
Yes, I mean, I myself, so I do the oath of manifestation every single day, and I've been doing it for I don't know, 13, 14 years now. And the last line in it is, God is all there is. I let the God times roll. And for the last, pretty much the whole time, not entirely, but pretty much, I've been saying source is all there is. And the woman that's my partner that I'm doing the oath with now has this really like powerful connection to God, right? And so I've started to say God is all there is. And it's interesting just to kind of play with that, like looking at where my, because I mean, when I say God, I mean source, and when I say source, I mean God. Like that's what I'm talking about, right? So and then I was reminded, and I don't know why, whether this is relevant or not, but it might be, is that after I had a friend pass away in 2009, and she took her own life. And so I sat with a practitioner, prayed with a practitioner after service, and the practitioner said something to me that I will always remember. Said, where you are, God is, because God is all there is. And where Claudia, my friend, where Claudia is, God is, because God is all there is. So where you are, Claudia is, because God is all there is. And so there's a lot of conversation now of like, you know, all that is, you know, God, Goddess, all that is, source, all that is. I don't know why I threw that in there, but I threw that in there. So I don't know if I took us off track or not. So I'm complete.
Hi, Gray.
Hi, Gray.
Hello.
So it's abandonment, sense of victimhood, restoring a clarity of presence of thought and understanding. So there's an opportunity to work with a lot of beautiful light today, the cobalt blue, of course, for truth. Obviously, the, you know, our beautiful violets and lavenders pull up the
Gold.
grid, even at the deepest, most subtle levels, bring in all of the assistance, angelic, galactic, otherwise, to hold that grid and try to do a transmutation through space and time. I would ask that we each volunteer ourselves, that in any parallel lives that we have ever had on planet Earth, that connection to those lives be used as an opportunity for a clearing exactly in that space-time within the Earth experience. That's how I'd approach it. And then Gina Bambina could do all of the magnificent.
I like that.
Yeah, you could do all of the magnificent clearing. So that's what I got.
I'm feeling really called to that, like node, the origin point of this victimization, abandonment, fear of abandonment experience globally, from all of those moments in which the galactic cedars for the various groups left. And all of the different experiences based on that. Yeah, and it feels too, even among those that left, there were many that had the feels around leaving, knowing how those left would be affected.
Oh yeah, I think, oh, that's a beautiful point. Let's bring them in as well.
All participants.
All participants.
All involved. Yeah.
So
that really strongly too, Gina. Thank you for bringing that.
okay, this could be, yeah, an Akashic Records moment. We can all pile in there and have our books opened and ask that each of these moments in time be pulled up simultaneously if you're game.
So while you're doing that, I'm actually being pulled into the void.
Okay.
Because from the void, I can reach everyone, whereas in my quantum healing space, I bring in one or two or a few or whatever. From the void, I can touch all.
Cynthia, you wanna-
And then while you do that, I'm going to do this just real quick. Let's connect and protect, right? So open up your heart space, send the golden beam from your heart deep down into Mama Gaia. Let that love be returned to you in kind, moving back up through your energetic centers, cleansing, spinning, harmonizing, balancing as it goes up through your heart, through your upper chakras to your crown, being cleansed, amplified, guided back to source, back to 0 point, back to prime creator in all of its liquid essence, pouring its love back down through you, back down into Mother Earth, creating a toroid where your heart is the center point. And we'll call in our teams. I call in Christ Jesus to place pillars of light around each and every one of us, sealing in our windows, our ceilings, our floors, only to allow in the highest vibrational essences for this healing today. Okay, I'll turn it back over to you, Gina.
Yeah, so the first compound that I'm working on is betrayal, fear, crying, anxiety, and nervousness. And from inside the void, I'm literally feeling like every participant involved in this, there's like a line coming to me, and they're all, so rather than me connecting my aura over a person, they're all like plugged in to the space I'm holding in the void. Super cool. So this compound, normally, you know, I get numbers, how many times trapped and triggered and all of that. They said there's no point in trying to get numbers. So this first compound, I'm simply going to release, transmuting every last atom involved in this compound into the frequency of love, releasing all forms, effects, generators, regenerators, and influence across all space, time, and dimension. If you all could send me some energy, some white light. This is taking a lot of energy and really having to work it. So support would be fantastic. I'm getting a lot of clearing in the diamond eye chakra. That is the future knowing, future seeing, and also ideation of the future. And this clearing is very much around perspective. So dark perspective, expectation or anticipation of betrayal and abandonment, and victimhood mentality. And the projection of that into expectations of the future based on a disempowered experience in the past and present. So clearing this will help people to see, envision a brighter future without this resistance, fog. I don't know if you're aware of it, whoever's doing it, but somebody has it's like a golden rod that's helping to hold me. I appreciate that. I'm gonna do another one. What else are you all experiencing?
Guilt.
I have this fear coming up around catastrophism, however you say it.
Catastrophizing.
Yeah, and it seems like there's an uptick on this sort of a play,
Mhm.
and it ties into a really, really ancient fear.
What's coming up for me is a bit strange because it's like an aloofness that I'm feeling, not so much in myself, but from the general population of like not wanting to be involved in anything, not caring to be involved, not just wanting to put their heads in the sand and just act like everything's fine. So I'm not sure the greatest word to describe what I'm feeling, but it's like an unconnectedness to Earth and Mother Gaia and everything that's going on, around them.
It's like a choice to remain asleep.
Yes. It's just like you get this huge portion I'm getting of people just, they don't even want to know anything. So that's a lot, like a wall that needs to be like taken down somehow so we can get through to those people.
I'm getting a couple things with that. I'm getting apathetic.
Uh-huh.
I'm also getting like if it's not impacting me like personally, so it's not my problem, like a very individual versus unity. And then there's something of like, in a and I don't know the word for it, but it's like it's almost like a cognitive dissonance. Like they don't want to know, because if they know, that means they've been lied to, that means that they've been fooled, that means that they're like like that, right? But so there's that energy. I don't know the singular word for it, but
that they'll have to take personal responsibility.
Yes. There is like just this big portion I'm feeling that's kind of blocked to what we're trying to do because of all those things we just spoke of the last minute. If there's a way we could kind of maybe ask to seep into like plant a seed into their tiniest cracks that they might have, and it goes in so they can maybe open up more to seeing and receiving what we're giving them.
If it's according to their soul contracts, because there are those who are contracted to stay asleep for this time.
Yes.
But there's something about minimizing the impact that they have on those who've chosen to awaken.
Okay.
I did do a compound of discouragement, longing, blaming, anger, blaming. And it was very interesting. And so that's all disempowered responses, different sides of disempowered responses. And under that anger, so I would say anger is either the cloak of sorrow or the armor of fear, with the exception of righteous anger. But it's very difficult to know when you're in righteous anger if you're operating from a place of trauma and programming. And this anger is like petty, peevish anger, which is victim, very much victim. But
so I'm literally having a visceral like pain in my chest. Like I'm massaging here, and particularly on this side. I don't know, like
your right side,
masculine
control.
Also, it's also present. So in quantum hypnosis, it's like this is past and this is present, and then as well.
The oppression that people are feeling right now from outer sources like governments or religious people or whatever, maybe they're feeling oppressed. Maybe that's what you're feeling. I don't know. Like they got a hand down on you.
It doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like it's like, I don't know, it's sharper than that. It's not like indigestion or anything like that. I got nothing myself going on there.
It feels like there's like the masculine energy, there's such a resistance. And we know this as we've gone into the age of Aquarius, there's this resistance from masculine, not divine masculine, but out of balance masculine energy in what it will look like when the divine feminine is actually in balance. And that requires a loss or a releasing of control by the masculine, which is terrifying for some, because of a lack of understanding of how divine feminine works, and not wanting to lose control in general, and have things change. So it feels like there's resistance to that as well.
Yeah. I
Would it be
say,
helpful, since we have masculine presence, to have him proxy something? I don't know what that would look like, but on, like, if you're willing, Gray, on behalf of the masculine.
The entire masculine collective.
Yes. We operate like that sometimes here, like this is the I am collective, right? So on behalf of the collective, I'm having this experience that's representing the collective.
Right.
yeah, and possibly, Gray, you could hold that space for the masculine in the collective and just open yourself up to receiving and allowing any feelings that come up for you, that you could ask to represent the masculinity or the masculine in our collective, and then see what comes up for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I feel already just being on the call and having the feminine voices here, it's something shifting within me. So there's the space inside of me that is being filled with the masculine presence, is how I interpret it. And I've had some relations come up recently that are repatterning my relationship to the masculine. It was interesting. I'm in a room that had some activity going on, and I noticed as you were going through different points, what it was bringing out for you. I just observed, because I haven't booked this room, for example, but I observed my body posture like contract away when I saw these other people enter the room, which to me is symbolic more of like my childhood than it would be to these people, because these people are not going to do this. So that was illuminating in the sense of what is still in my cellular structure. What were the movement patterns I had to encode to survive at a certain point, and now, well, it's well safe, knowing that I'm safe. How do I need to feel that one more time, perhaps, so that then the divine masculine of me saying, hey, I'm not going to let that happen again, come forward. So I've been present to that process. That's more a personal experience.
Well, it's not only that you're not going to let it happen again, it's that you're no longer that child.
I'm no longer that child. Yeah.
Like that protection, that message, that mechanism, like when you said the word trauma response is when my heart started hurting, or like when my chest started hurting. So there's something in there of like, that's all trauma response that has been delivering messages to us or keeping us protected, is like that's ready to be released, like I'm feeling better now, like it's not like it was.
There's
Sorry, just really quickly, isn't that what we're working on now, is the trauma response of this initial betrayal and abandonment?
right.
It's so great. And, as we're working and you're experiencing divine feminine in action, perhaps I would invite you to maybe experiment with connecting to the divine masculine energy as a collective of its own, and sort of funneling this experience into that energy, as invitation for divine masculine to experience what divine feminine truly is. Cynthia?
And then to bring this back full circle, here's what I'm getting. What I'm getting is that there's also a larger impact to the disclosure movement, to the re-entry of sophisticated technologies, and it has to require an acceptance of humans to extraterrestrial races. So any of the trauma that's related to this sense of abandonment around these races can be triggered by this. So what the clear audio that I got from the Cedars was to hold a consciousness around the idea or around the knowingness that all of us have higher or other parallel aspects of self that are all members of a galactic community. And to bring this knowingness back into the collective to help negate any of the narratives that will be false that will try to be propagated. And to focus on diamond white, cobalt blue, and ultraviolet during this clearing process.
That's a super interesting point, because trust was broken in the galactics. And so now with disclosure and them coming back more visibly, more obviously, wouldn't it make sense that we would be naturally very untrusting?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on that now.
So if everybody could focus on breathing through their heart, and from there, see the cobalt blue, see the diamond white, see the ultraviolet as light pulsating out from your heart, moving up out of your body upwards, populating the entire grid of the planet, and more specifically populating around you as your etheric body is in this void of creation. And allow this to follow all of your incarnations and parallel lives. To cleanse you, to refresh you, to restore you. And as you do, you add this to the collective in each of these incarnations. And now please focus on aquamarine and the element of water. Okay, and we ask that all of this be transmuted by the violet flame and replaced with peace, hope, mercy, and compassion. And I'm complete.
I'm getting Ho'oponopono is in order for all involved. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, those that were chosen, either knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, to be the ones, quote unquote, left behind. I love you, those who knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, were the ones to depart and leave your loved ones and your family, your tribe, your race behind. I love you. We love you. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for those that were left behind that may not have known what was happening, and you didn't agree to this, and the confusion and the heartache and the break of trust that happened. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for those that left, that you were put in that position to have to leave for the furtherment of evolution and expansion and ascension. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive us. Please forgive each other for taking actions and playing your part to lead us to where we are now. In forgiveness, there is grace. Please, please, please forgive. Thank you, thank you, thank you, all involved, for all that you did to bring us to this place where we are now, where it is brought up for us to heal for all time, space, distance, and reality. Thank you. We are utterly and endlessly grateful. Thank you. And so it is.
And thank you for your forgiveness. It's already been granted now.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else.
Mm. Yeah, there's some space now.
Mhm.
Anything else coming up?
All of the attachments to me are being released. Moving through that process. This part feels complete. I did another compound of crying, abandonment, confusion, stubbornness, and dread, specifically around the broken trust in galactics.
Thank you for that.
I just want to add, and I've felt it through this process, but to allow any armoring that was created at any point to protect what intuitively we knew was not the full representation of what was possible to experience as a sentient being, to be dissolved, perhaps in the color of your choice, ultraviolet, cobalt blue, diamond white, so that we can soften and live from our heart space, knowing that that is how we connect with the field, how we will attract others. Release the shielding now. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you for that. The shielding is no longer necessary. Thank you for the message that the shielding provided. It is no longer necessary. Thank you.
So interesting. As my shielding dissolved away, and thank you for that, Greg, that was perfect. I saw Mother Mary in one of those sort of icon paintings with the blue robe veil, and then the gold aura around her that radiates out. So it's like in replacement of this shielding is divine unity, partnership, love, compassion, understanding, and also the power that comes with that.
As you were speaking, Gina, I'm feeling this tingling of energy, and it's like on the left side. Like, so it started right before you talked, and then you're talking about, Mother Mary. I was like, oh yeah, it's like little like tingle, tingle, tingle. And that's awesome, because the flow for me has been like Jennifer was saying earlier, like it's been challenging to have full flow. So
Jules, Cynthia has transmuted into her fullest form.
Mama. I only have this on my I got Michael and Metatron. Oh, and Kuan Yin. Some angels.
She's been showing up for me big time lately. This morning, on a side note, I was awakened with, I posted about it on Facebook. Those service desk bells, and you hit it and it goes ding like that. That woke me up. I heard it ding, and I woke up and I looked at my watch, and it was 1 minute before my alarm was about to go off. And it's like, well, time to be of service, I guess. Someone rang my service desk bell. Does anyone have anything else before we wrap it up?
No, but perhaps we should do an energy scan, bring in some dragon energy for that.
I would like one thing. When I was going through it, after you asked for forgiveness in the Ho'oponopono, I got really upset and like kind of defiant. And I was like, why should I forgive you? You were the adult, you knew better, and you did it anyway. So that's what came up for me. So I'm wondering if it's just me or if there's other stragglers that were kind of defiant and don't want to believe that, it wasn't done to them necessarily intentionally to ruin their spirit.
I'm sure there are others.
Yeah, I'm sure. Is there anything we can do to maybe just a little prayer for those people that feel like they're still resentful, to like just release it, just let it go or something? I don't know. Or is it just done and they can deal with it on their own? You know?
I think it's an important part. We can do what we can for the collective according to the highest good of the individual, but I think it's important also to leave in place what needs to be in place for the evolution of the individuals.
Okay.
And perhaps it came up for you because that was something that needed to be revealed and processed from within you. And I know that there are plenty of others who feel the same way. And so perhaps you were also holding space for those.
Well, I really was abandoned in this life.
Mhm.
And then, but when you were talking about it in the spaceship sense, where galactically we were abandoned, that also resonated with me as well. So I wasn't sure if like maybe it happened then and then it happened in this life again, and you know, so it's triggering for me, or if it's just something I'm picking up from the collective, since I have empathy for that, since I've already been through it in this lifetime myself, you know.
It
So
could
no,
be all of them.
I think
Yeah.
yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Cynthia, do you want to lead us through the
Yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to invite in some dragons, and I'm going to share their names with you and what they do and where they come from. Okay? So the first dragon's name is Xavier, and he is violet. He's purple. And his skill set is being able to scan, read, and repair the most subtle layers of all of our bodies. I'm bringing in Lily. She is an iridescent dragon who carries every flame, every color, every ray. And she is the Mother Mary of dragons, as it were.
Hmm.
I'm bringing in also, I have a new dragon whose name I do not know, but who is turquoise and gold in color. And then I have a fifth dragon whose name is Piona. Her chest is vanilla cream, and the rest of her is tree frog green.
Mhm.
And she is connected to nature and specifically elementals. And this is all personal body grid work, right? They come from a place I call the no time. They are eternal beings who are all healers, who are present to support us and our ascension today. Okay, for those of you who have ancient bodies, this is a new scan for you. You will be scanned simultaneously by all dragons present. Each present here has a dragon body, some activated, some not. This will be an activation of your dragon body and a scanning for energetic balancing as well. All right. And we have cobalt blue and gold dragons coming forward. Their names are Thor and Nigel. They'll be doing a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, etheric, and astral scan. And we're asking that all energies that we may have picked up that do not serve us, do not belong to us, be transmuted through the violet flame back to source. And we ask for an infusion of Christed plasma white light into all of our energy centers to refresh us, to balance us, to give us energy to accomplish all things we are here to do, and the confidence to do so. And Mother Mary steps in with the blessing anointing each forehead with oil. All right. Liquid gold is now entering each of these bodies, which have been thoroughly scanned, cleansed. And this is a final cleansing. And I am complete.
Could just sit in this energy all day.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Cynthia, during that process, I was given a dragon egg in a golden nest.
Mm.
Any idea what that's about?
Yeah, this is a personal to you. It represents the, well, literally the birthing of a new personal dragon who is also a guide. I do not have a name. This will come to you directly. This is a healer. A healer for you.
Thank you.
So before we forget, I want to invite into this beautiful energy our sister, our spirit sister, Ashika, on her Earth birthday, on her birthday, and sending her this juicy peace and connection and clearing and clarity and love and compassion and understanding and strength and empowerment and solid ground. I send this out to you.
Also, the iridescent dragon Lily just gave me a clear audio, and she said, don't forget to infuse hope. When there is harmony and there is balance, there is room for hope. Give it to humanity.
I'm in a much better energy than I started this call.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of these calls, man. Every time.
Aren't you glad you dragged yourself out of bed?
Yeah, I was not. My body was not feeling right this morning. I didn't want to say I wasn't feeling good. Like I didn't want to create that. I was like, I'm not feeling right. So I kept meditating and going back to sleep, like sleep meditation. And then I reached out to Gina and said, would you mind like leading the call? Like I'll be there, but I don't think I can generate. So thank you for that. And thank you as well for leadership. I'm so happy to see you again, Jennifer. We've really missed you, honestly.
Yeah. Yes, I'll be back every week again. I just got tied up with all this stupid stuff. And then I have a really hard time connecting in my car for some reason. Like drive and connect at the same time. I'm just not that technically savvy. Like I'm pressing all these buttons and nothing's happening. I'm like, I don't know. All this newfangled stuff is like, I'm an old school person. I like to drive cars from the 50s. I'm like, what is this Bluetooth? I don't even know how this works, you know? And then it like takes my phone and it makes it so that nothing can be heard, you know? And I don't know how to stop that yet. I haven't figured it all out. So I got to take a moment and figure out the new technology.
That's what we're all doing right now, baby.
Behind the times. I'm like, I love my 50s car.
I'll be the first to sign your Bring Back the Windowing petition. How's that, Jennifer?
Oh, I love those. I love
Yeah.
it. You can pop your front window down, like in the old Aston Martins and stuff. I'm like, who needs a window? You know, I don't.
All right, very good.
It is.
Before we go, let's just give our gratitude and thanks for all of our guides present here today.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Gratitude. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, each and every one of you guides that came and helped us today.
Mhm.
So much love and appreciation to you, your assistance, your knowledge, your clarity. Anytime you want to bring it to us, we're open to receive it unless we say otherwise.
Okay, well, blessings to all until we meet again.
Love you all. I hope you all are doing wonderfully and have a wonderful week. And I will see you guys next Tuesday.
Indeed.
Well, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.